I'm Stuart Wiggin and this is my video on why Seth Rollins is the weakest looking world champion in WWF and/or E history. So, it all started so well. He arrived as a member of one of the coolest factions that the company has seen in the past 10 to 15 years, the Shield. They show up, they look menacing, they take people out, they take part in old school episodes of Raw and smile when snakes are put on them. No, that wasn't Seth Rollins. Anyway, it was all going so well. And then he played Turncoat. I didn't see that one coming. He turned on his brothers and became the #1 heel in the company. And then for some reason, he came out looking like Repo Man. Sans coat and mask, of course. And then Money in the Bank briefcase, Kane, J&J security. It all got a bit soggy around this part. And then WrestleMania cash-in. Brilliant! He steals the show at one of the best WrestleManias in recent history. So, sogginess averted. No, in fact, since WrestleMania, Seth has been positioned as one of the weakest looking champions in the company's history, despite picking up victories over some of the biggest names in the game, including Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Sting and Kane. Now that's a pretty impressive list, apart from 2015 Kane. But still, Kane. And let's not forget, he broke John Cena's nose. He should be universally loved for that alone, and yet he's not. So here's why. We all know Paul Levesque, whatever, aka Triple H, has said that writing the third hour of Raw is exponentially more difficult than the first 2 hours. Well, Paul, the reason for that might be is because for the first half hour of the show, you let Seth come out and talk about himself and his really meaningless feuds for that particular night on Raw and any other meaningless feuds that he's got going on. And it doesn't really give him very much cachet with the audience, and despite being a very good talker, it hasn't really put him over. Is he the top heel? I think he's the most annoying heel, but I don't think he's the top heel. I think the top heel goes to Brock, who rarely even shows up, and somehow is also a face, so Seth loses out there. He's not even as entertaining as the New Day, who are, by the way, the most entertaining performers on the show, but, you know, he's not even as big a heel as a tag team, so he really doesn't do very well there. And by the way, he's the world champion and a heel, so he really should be the top heel, and he's not. And that brings us to another conundrum, the top face in the company. Now, the top face, if you're 6 to 12 years old, is the self-proclaimed face that runs the place, John Cena. He doesn't run the place, thank God, but he is WWE's top guy. And he's been in one program with Seth, you know, the one where he broke his nose, and then ultimately lost his chance to win the world title as a result of Jon Stewart. What? But anyway, that was cool and everything, but beating Cena with the help of a retired talk show host doesn't really do much to cement your status as the #1 heel in the company. You don't really come out of it looking like Triple H reaching for a sledgehammer on the top of a steel cage. You come out of it looking like, well, looking like Seth Rollins. And finally, we come to the Authority. It's a weird, tangled up mess of goodwill ambassadors, schizophrenic demons, and evil wrestling promoter daughter-husband combos. Seth is firmly entrenched within this ridiculous group. Add to this the ridiculous writing, where he literally gets dragged to hell under a ring, and then shows up on SmackDown on Thursday, pre-taped on Tuesday, cutting a promo about getting pulled to hell, and they all look stupid. It just makes the group look like one of the most stupid, ridiculous, authority-like factions in the history of the company, of which Seth is the chosen representative. And there you go, there's my take on why Seth Rollins is the weakest world champion ever.